Okay. A little while ago I did a video on a potential addition of wind element. I'll link that video in the description and in the pinned comment. And I just want to talk about how that could be affecting the biomes Mistlands and maybe even Ashlands. Because I didn't really talk about that other than going into the Mistlands. Like maybe you give your either iron scale chest piece or your padded cuirass some wind resistance, that sort of thing. That would help out. I think iron scale chest piece would be better. Maybe like a tower shield could have wind res, something like that. Yeah, just classic stuff. Porcupine also wind over pierce, just because changing Desquitos to wind would be all that stuff is in that video. Go watch that video. But what I didn't talk about was specifically certain gear in the Mistlands that I would change, and even Ashlands spoilery stuff. Yes. I'll let you know when the Ashlands teaser spoiler stuff is coming. But for now, let's talk about Mistlands. And straight up, right now in the Mistlands, we have some game-changing stuff. There are a lot of really good gear that's really cheap. I'm looking at the Arbalest. I'm looking at Spine Snap. These things are really cheap and they're really strong. And that totally breaks the mold of game design that we've had so far. Usually if it's cheap, it's a little lacking in power overall. And this balances itself out very well. However, I think that now the idea is we're in the end game. We're going to give you things that are stronger than usual relative to what we've had. So we're going to give you stuff that's really good and cheap. Nice. We're going to give you this mage stuff with the bubble, and we're going to give you the feather cape, and we're just going to get rid of all these old problems for you. And I look at this and I see, okay, we have this magical resource either. We're putting it into gear. What does the heavy set get? You know, what do they get? They gotta have something, right? Something to break the mold, something spicy. No, they don't get anything. So I'm thinking, not only do we have the breastplate here with maybe some sort of wind resistance, just classic, keep it classic, but also, you know, let's give it something else too. Why not? We're in the end game, we're using magic mats. Plenty of precedent, let's give it something spicy. Not to mention that all this spicy stuff would be on the body layer, which normally would be covered by the bubble, the Staff of Protection bubble, because it goes over all the layers except for shield. So, we're in a bit of a predicament, because even now, it's just better to just bubble up your buddies. Especially in co-op. Bubble up. That's it. Maximum 700 effective HP. Even if it takes pickaxe chop, which it does, so that's a downside to the bubble, it's still incredibly useful. Incredibly useful. And much more useful than your heavy armor at that. And I think that needs to change. So, resistances in the past, we know Root Harness, Pierce Res, that not only allows for very defensive oriented, safety and such, but also offensive. Same thing with Bone Mass. Pop Bone Mass and be aggressive too. And so that's going to be the solution, is resistances that allow you to be aggressive more than normal when you have these pieces of armor. And, well, we are getting some, I won't say just yet for Ashlands, but think about it like this, right? Compared to a mage, you're probably going to go 2 stam, 1 health if you're going to have extra resistances. I mean, I was going to go that way anyway. I went that all the way throughout until Mistlands anyway, so that's good. That's optimal. Stamina just kills things, and health really does not. Especially when you have all these tanky extra things like health, well, the health that you do have from food, even with health stam, potions, all this stuff, and of course resistances on top of that. Full Fenris with Bone Mass, you can clear out a bunch of regular fullings in a camp, no problem. And I'm thinking maybe the same thing can apply to Seekers in the Infested Mine. What do we give this Carapace breastplate in terms of resistance? Personally, I think blunt resistance. I think that might come in clutch in the Ashlands. But what's really specific here is the Seeker Soldier double slam. Now, I have to double check one thing. Valheim Seeker Soldier. Here we go. Blunt. That's right. That's exactly what I thought. Just making sure. Blunt damage. What do y'alls do? Let's look. I know this one for sure. Blunt and fire. Very interesting. You see where I'm going with this. You give it blunt res, you also give it some wind res, because it's a big heavy thing. That makes sense. Maybe you add like some sort of wind to something that the y'all can do, maybe a bonus attack, that would be cool. I think that would be really cool. Maybe slap on wind element to one of the Seeker's attacks as they're flying around in the air. And now you have a chest piece, which has 2 resistances. Game changing. However, we're at the end game, and things already are game changing. But not only that, we're using Eider to make this non-magical, regular armor set? No, that's ridiculous. No. So change that. What do you think of my double resistance idea? Do you think they should be spread out among the breastplate and the greaves? That's also an option. So maybe make the leggings wind res and the chest piece blunt res. Think that sounds good? I feel like it should have some resistance, right? It's made out of Carapace, yeah? Right? Makes sense. Seekers resistant to blunt, pierce, slash. I don't exactly think we should have all of those resistances, and that, you know, for game balance purposes, but still, it's gotta have something to compete. This just seems ridiculous. Alright, now Ashlands spoilers, let's get into it. In the Ashlands, spoilers, alright? Boom. Storm-infused Berserker Axis. Storm-infused Slayer, which I don't have the image for, I don't think we've seen a Storm-infused Slayer in-game yet. Storm-infused Needhog. Not lightning-infused. Storm-infused. So, we're getting a lot of weird, complex other options as well. So the 3 options, thankfully they're not fire, poison, and lightning, or fire, poison, storm. It's blood, nature, and storm. So it's very interesting. Like, what could blood be? What could nature be? I'm very excited to see how that could turn out. It seems like it's not going to be your ordinary, regular schmegular element. It seems like it's going to be a little spicy. Well, how do we make storm in the same notion spicy to match? Well, and you see this coming a mile away, make it wind lightning. No physical at all. Wind lightning. That way, if you want your regular Needhog, that would just be full damage, ordinary. That would be nice. Just slash, standard stuff. Or your regular Slayer 2, ordinary, well crafted, pure slash, fine. That could come in handy too. Make that a 4th option. Regular. Right now you look at a lot of Souls games, Elden Ring. You never want to have your stuff uninfused unless it literally can't be infused with some sort of element that changes things up, or scaling, or something like this. You never want it to be just regular. You want it to be something special. And so I think this is a good idea to actually buck that trend. No, my ordinary thing is actually useful in this damage type compared to the others. It's 100% slash. And I think that would be cool. But also, I made a video a while back, and I'm not going to link it. It's just, I'm going to recap it right now. The whole idea is the ultimate weapon back then that I thought of before Mistlands would be like a one-handed sword that would be half lightning, half frost, or some sort of combination of lightning and frost and no physical whatsoever. And then also I talked about the at gear, and then like I should have mentioned a bow as well, because that's obvious. Like combine like make a full frost damage bow and just shit on everything, you know what I mean? Just brutal. Brutal stuff. But yeah, if you have full element and just split elements with that, ooh, that would be disgusting, disgusting. And considering we're going into the Ashlands, even beyond the Mistlands, which is already game-changing, entering the endgame, I think that, well, having a split wind, split lightning damage option would be really cool. And it would be very good as well. Very aesthetic. Nice combo, works visually here with what we got. And of course, Storm Infusion kind of implies just that. Now, I don't think we're going to get that, so it's just a shot in the dark. It's just my idea. Let me know what you guys think. I think maybe, like, also Fallen Valkyrie could have a wind attack, you know what I mean? This sort of thing. Basically, just, like, give any flying enemy some sort of new special wind attack. Yes, that would be complicated, but it would be really cool. It would make the game more interesting. And not only that, it would still be far less complex than Pokemon, which, well, the system still has some great popularity considering Paolo. But seriously, let me know your ideas, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye!